But you want to make sure you scan, and the one thing we didn't talk about, I can't remember if I did, when you turn this one on, you're going to need to scan for the channels, make sure it scans initially to identify which channels are in your local community. And as some of the broadcasters have multiple programming streams, you'll be able to get some additional free channels, and that's what you're seeing right there.
Now I need the coupon. Will the coupon still be there? Is there a deadline when the coupon is ever going to end, or is it an ongoing thing so that poor people like myself can catch up?
Right now, the coupons are not allowed to be issued after about I think it's the end of March. I can get you the exact date. So no, if you're someone who thinks you might need one in the future, but you don't need it now, you should still want to try to get it right now. Other questions on the side? She's got a question. She says sometimes when she's trying to watch TV, if she moves a pillow or something in between, if it kind of blocks the signal, she gets a message she needs a stronger signal. But what that means is that yeah, that something's interfering, that you may be having some trouble getting that signal. I don't know if it happens on all your stations or just some of them. And that's one thing you need to check out. Now, as I said, some of the broadcasters are probably going to be putting out a stronger signal when they turn off their analog ones, and they're able to maximize their digital signals. So that's one thing that you can check on. If you can find out which signal it is, you can check with that broadcaster to see if that's going to be the case.
Does that mean I need to get another antenna?
Well, if they're going to be increasing their power, you don't need another antenna. You should wait and see if that addresses the issue. If they come back and they say, no, we're already doing as much as we're going to do on that channel. Maybe you live outside of town, so that you're a little further out. That signal may just not be able to get clear all the time. Then you might want to consider getting another antenna. So, but I talk to your broadcaster first to see if they're going to maximize your power before you get another antenna. To the extent that you have an antenna that works now and you can receive all your channels in the area, the VHF channels and UHF channels, your antenna should work to be able to receive all the broadcast channels. So the broadcasters have tried the best they can to replicate their signal so that it covers basically the same circle and the same community as the old analog signal did. So if you have an antenna that was able to receive all those channels before, you should be able to receive them. Now there could be some people on the edges that used to be able to over here that don't. There could be some people that used to not be able to on the other side of town that do, because they've had sometimes there's a little bit of adjustment on the edges. But for most of the people, and 90% of the stations throughout the country actually are only gaining people; they're not losing any people. But there are about 10% of the stations in the country that might lose some people on the edges. They might gain people overall, they might still lose some people somewhere on the edges. So, but if you have an antenna that used to work, it should still work now. I was just flagging for you that might be that might be a solution for you if you do live out on the edges of the signal, that you don't get a clear enough signal to always be able to get coverage. There's one. She asked about battery-operated TVs during the storm. And they're now battery TVs or digital battery TVs, but for your old analog battery TVs, there's one, and we can get you the name of it. There's one converter box that is a battery-operated converter box that you can plug it in the wall, but it's got a battery pack that you can attach it to it, and it'll actually work with batteries. It's got a battery pack you can attach to it, and so if you've got a battery-operated TV and you want your converter box to be able to do that, then I'd recommend you buy that one. And actually, like I said, it's got a little attachment. You just put in a standard size, I think it's D-volt batteries. You can put them right in there and hook it up and it'll work for you. There are people that have complained in every community I've gone into that said that they applied for their coupons, they did it months ago, and they just never got them. And they don't understand what happened. And I don't know whether they got lost in the mail or they never got issued, so that they got put in the mail and someone else took them. I don't know what happened, but there are people that at every stop that complain about that. And all of them tell the same story about they've got a reference number, but they can't use the coupon. They can't even they get the coupons now. They're expired. If they found if someone provided them, if they were old, if they were dated from May, and they've got this problem. And I don't have an easy answer for you because I hear your frustration. As I understand it, the program is not issuing you a new one because they're saying you already got one. And so that's the reason why what I would tell you is I can tell you that I think it's not fair. And I agree with you, but my practical advice to you at this point is I would find somebody else to apply for a coupon and see if you can, and let them give it to you. Because what's clearly happened is they think they gave you yours and you did never get it. And I don't know what happened to it, but I do know that if they think they gave you yours, they won't issue you a new one. And you can go through a series of appeals, but it takes a long time, and you're going to be faster trying to find someone else to apply for it.
I'm not complaining about it. What I'm saying is,
You should be. And by the way, it's okay to be complaining about it, because you know what? It's not fair, and that's not right.
Something should be done. It's not a thing saying, well, you just won't receive it. That's not good enough. And I won't use the term fair. That's plain arrogant to me. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not on you, but I'm here to find out, can you give me some direction? Not to tell me, say, well, because they think. That's not good enough. I pay tax like everybody else. And I'm looking in a way that they'll respect me if I'm respecting the process. I don't want to hear an answer like, well, you pushing me to the side. That's all I'm saying.
No,
I'm not saying you.
Yeah, I was to say, I'm not pushing you to the side at all. I actually think, and listen, I think it, and I've said this before, listen, the government can find anybody when they want to find them if they got to pay their taxes, but they haven't been able to find people when they're trying to give them coupons, right? And you know what? And they were able to find you when they wanted to, but somehow they can't find you when you want them to find you. And I agree, and that's not fair, and that's not right. And that they should be, people who are going through this process trying to respect it should be getting those coupons, and it's a real problem. I don't know what happened. Like I said, I think that one of the problems with the coupon program is that it's been said they don't reissue them. Because if they just reissued them, then even if yours had expired, or they said they'd already get it to you, you could say, well, just send me another one. So I don't disagree with you on that. I agree with you. But what I am trying to do is, and I'm not trying to push you aside, I'm trying to give you the only practical advice I know on what to tell you to do. Because of all the people that come up and complain about the situation that you have, I've never heard anybody say that, yeah, I got that reference number and eventually I got it resolved and they sent me another. Everyone comes in and says, I get on the phone all the time and I still never get it. And so what I was doing is trying to say the only other idea I have for you is to get somebody else to apply and try to give you yours. And I agree with you, and I can end up, and I will tell other people, and I have already, that I think that this is a problem. The coupon program needed more money, and they need to be willing to reissue the coupons. But that being said, they don't, and as a result, I'm just trying to give you the only practical advice I can.
I'm just curious, was Congress ill-informed on this decision, or weren't they educated enough to make this decision to take all this away from the American people? I mean, it just seems like it's something that's prone for failure to me. In other words, you mentioned you could order this online, but a lot of these folks don't even have a computer.
I completely agree. One of the reasons why we're trying to do events like these to get the message out is that obviously the very people who are not subscribing to cable and satellite and still watching free over-the-air television are ones that are going to be the least likely to be able to get online and order stuff online or get educated that way. And that's why we're trying to work with grassroots organizations just like this to try to get that message out and try to work with them on it. So I agree with you. And I think that this is and I also agree it's going to be a real challenge, and that there's going to be, and there's people that we need to try to find ways to end up helping. What I do know though is that the good folks here that are broadcasting are going to stop no matter what on February 18th. And so what we need to do collectively as a group is figure out, okay, how do we make sure that we do our best to take care of everybody in our community? Because they're going to stop no matter what because they're required to. And there's some real problems that I can tell you I might have done some of those things differently that I don't have any control over. But that being said, we still need to figure out a way within the parameters of what we do have on how we make this work, because they're still going to stop. We actually try to have you talk to some of the engineers in the back to talk to them about, and they can actually, you can tell them where you live and they can relate that to where the antenna is and see whether you're within an area that should be getting full coverage and or not, and what's wrong with why you're not.
I work with the disaster program here in Dayton, and there is disaster funding for communication-wise. I mean, you had just mentioned the reason why we transfer over just because of communication. And I know when a disaster happens, can't nobody get to the phone, let alone TV. But there is funding through the federal government for disasters. Why can that be used for the program?